Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first recording of the Soul Awakening Academy Soul Awakening Life Coach course. So I'm really pleased to be able to present this to you today and be able to share this first lecture. And if you have any questions, please get back to me. But let me introduce you to the Soul Awakening Academy. Now, most of you know me. I'll introduce myself as we go through this slide, but the Soul Awakening Academy was born out of my desire, passion and purpose to merge the coaching world together with the metaphysical world. So the spiritual world, the healing realm of personal transformation and change has been merged into one package with traditional coaching techniques. This really does bring about transformational change within yourself and within your clients. So who am I and why should I be teaching you this? Well, the Soul Awakening method is my unique method, and it was born from my desire as a healer. I'm very passionate about energy, and thankfully now science shares its knowledge with us that everything is made of energy. So energy management is very important to me. The beliefs and our mindset are the things that have helped me navigate my way through my own turbulent times in life. So my name is Anne-Marie and I'm the owner of the Soul Awakening Academy, and I've trained in natural healing, natural medicine, acupuncture, biomedicine, hands-on healing and positive psychology and coaching. And I've adopted this new method of working by using the chakra system, the energy centers in our body that have been around for thousands of years by the ancient Vedas, and I've combined this with transformational coaching techniques. So we all have a spiritual journey so far, and it's our pain points that help us, or maybe we don't, but they're the key indicators that something has to change and shift in our life. It's a little bit like the caterpillar having to go through that pain of being transformed into a beautiful butterfly. And there is a saying that if that caterpillar's metamorphosis stage is interrupted before its very end, then that caterpillar, that butterfly, will not have adequate wings to fly. So it's a little bit when we're going through our own transformation, it can be extremely painful and we may want to get off the cycle of it. But if we just see it through to the very end, there's something very transformative in there for you. Now, my key turning point came when I had my first child about 15 years ago. I'd already had lots of psychic phenomena happen to me, out-of-body experiences when I was a child. But really, my turning point, my healing crisis came when I gave birth to my son. And not long after that, I started to go on a decline. I had very early on in my childhood, it was very kind of disruptive. Talking about root chakra, where your foundations are formed, where you feel secure and safe. My identity had been completely shattered. I was adopted at an early age and I was given a name. But when I was adopted by my adopted family, they changed my name, told me at a very young age I was adopted, and that relationship didn't work out for various reasons, and I was placed into care when I was 11. So my sense of belonging, my sense of identity, my sense of security was completely demolished at a very young age. So my belief system had been set. And what I did, I created for myself a persona, an archetype of someone who was very confident and very strong. And to the outside world, I presented somebody who was a high achiever, very successful, but on the inside, I was a very scared, vulnerable child. That false persona that I created that was keeping me safe in my life came crashing down when I had my baby, because all those feelings that I'd hidden well for so long came back to be healed within me. Thankfully, I took on the challenge. I was kicking and screaming, taking on the challenge. It was very painful. And at times I didn't think I was going to make it, but I did. And these are the tools and techniques that I share with you, because these are the things that helped me change my life. So we talk a lot about archetypes as we go through the course. Archetypes is a term coined by famous psychologist Carl Jung, Dr. Carl Jung. He says we all share similar archetypes. They come from a place of a collective unconscious, which means that no matter where you live in the world or what culture you are, we all share the same depicted archetypes. If we were to say a hero, a warrior, a victim, a villain, a trickster, a fool, we'd all have a very similar image of what that looks like. So we all share these archetypes, but we all have our own as well. And we go through this very much on the course, and especially when you're working with clients, what energy are they projecting out into the world? As I just explained myself, that energy, that archetype I was projecting was, somebody, a boss. I was the boss, and you didn't mess with the boss. I was self-employed businesswoman. I hired a lot of men. It was a very male-orientated world, and I was very successful financially, but inside I was lacking immensely. So healthy chakras, healthy mind, and healthy you. Your chakras are your energy centers, and they're placed from the base of your spine, your root chakra, to the top of your crown, top of your head. We have many more chakras, but these are the ones that govern the key life themes, because these chakras are stored energetically over your endocrine glands, which basically keep you alive and keep you healthy. So it's been measured that our emotions have a frequency, and these emotions can be measured. Now, the higher the frequency, so the enlightenment, peace, and joy, the closer we are to our true source, creator, or consciousness. The lower down the scales, the more we are subject to our kind of physical self, and at a low vibrational frequency. So the 7 steps model that I have introduced and will introduce you to on the course, the 7 steps to awakening, is based on this psychological model of behavior. This was Maslow's model of needs, and he says that we all, for a person to become self-actualized, which is basically they turn to themselves for the answers. They don't look externally for happiness and joy. They understand themselves on a psycho-spiritual level, and they can navigate their own way in life because they trust themselves and they know themselves. For us to get to that self-actualization stage, we need to meet our first human needs. If those first human needs of safety and survival are met, the physiological needs which govern the root chakra, we will do everything we can to fight to stay alive. And those needs really are based in the root chakra and the sacral chakra, and we'll talk more about that as we go on. But we have to go through these stages. So when we work with the client, we're very much looking at their early conditioning, the early part of their life, what happened to their foundations, because anything that we're trying to build, we need to make sure that our foundations are strong and secure, a bit like a table. You have to have secure, sturdy legs to keep that tabletop in place. So this is the 7 steps to spiritual alchemy, if you like, because as we transform the energy in the chakras, the negative behavior or negative conditioning in the chakras, then it's a bit like alchemy. It's turning everything to its highest good, turning all this to gold. This is on a quest for us to tap into our own spiritual self, find ourselves, because if, like me, you'd had a kind of dismantled childhood, you will have at some point lost that connection to your spiritual self. So here you see the colors of the chakras depicted by the level of consciousness we go through. So the first stage of consciousness is the survival consciousness. This is the root chakra. We take that energy, that imprinting, that conditioning up into our relationship area, the sacral chakra. We then take that level of consciousness up into our identity consciousness, how we see ourselves in the world, how others see ourselves in the world. We then take that into our place of love consciousness, which is how we love ourselves and others. We take that then up to the throat, which is where we speak our truth consciousness. And then we have our insight or our wisdom consciousness. And then our crown chakra is our soul awakening consciousness. So the science behind the chakras, let's have a little look at how our chakras work. Well, the chakras are commonly depicted as a lotus blossom. The lotus blossom is used as a symbol of rebirth, as the flower will grow only out of muddy earth and darkness in order to blossom. This in turn symbolizes us as human beings, being born from nothing and are growing into beautiful beings, each complete in our own unique way. The same blossoming process is also symbolic of the expansion of our soul and the spiritual enlightenment that is created when this happens. So the chakra system originated around 1500 BC as part of the yoga systems in India. And the word chakra actually means a wheel or disc. The Sanskrit word describes these discs as being focal points of spinning energy or psychic nodes which give us our spiritual power. And the energy flows from the base of the spine to the top of the head. The chakras align to create a flowing energetic current, and when this energy flows downwards, we call this a manifesting flow, whereas the upward flow is seen as being energetic. To open and awaken our chakras, we need to work from the root chakra, working our way up through each one until we reach the crown chakra. The roots are where we are rooted literally into the earth, where we connect with nature, with Gaia. A lot of scientific evidence about earthing is out there, the healing effects of literally soaking your feet into the earth to have these minerals. We are made of stardust and we're made of the earth. So we need both in harmony and balance to be a whole integrated human being. Excuse me. So each chakra has a functionality which affects how we experience our material world. And we can look at each one of them in turn. So obviously your energy is so important. Your physical, mental and emotional well-being is defined by the energy that is being filtered. It's a filtering system. Your chakra overlays your body and sits on an endocrine gland. If in your early years of your life, your nervous system, which governs the root chakra, was put into fight or flight, which means you can be stressed, anxious, there was always some level of disruption in your life or fear, then your nervous system will be switched on and you will be filtering the way you see your world based on that nervous energy. So we need to look at how you are using your energy, where you're leaking energy, and where this can be balanced. So let's discover more about the chakras. So the root chakra is the base of the spine. It's red in color and its elemental is earth. This center represents our feelings of belongings to a tribe, community, family, or society, and humanity as a whole. This chakra represents how supported you feel in life, what type of foundations you feel your life is currently built upon. A great question I always ask is, how do you feel in life right now? Do your foundations feel sinking, stuck, shaky, stable, secure? This is about our physical needs being met and issues of survival, developing trust and healthy boundaries, feeling safe and being able to survive as a human being. Even though it is located at the base of the spine, its energetic influence is directed downwards towards the legs and feet. This is why we use the term grounding, as we imagine the root chakra opening and harnessing us to Mother Earth for stability, balance, and grounding. Once we're feeling grounded in our physical body and our basic human survival needs are met, we are able to direct our energy up the body to the next energy center, which is the seat of our emotions and creativity. We are now moving past our basic survival needs and into the realm of feeling. Imbalances in this chakra may present as anxiety, fear, or survival, money, and trust. So the root chakra is about survival. It's, where that Maslow's hierarchy of needs came in. It's the physiological one. It's the one where, are we going to be taken care of as babies? Are we going to have enough food? Are we going to have enough shelter? What's our environment like? Who's taking care of me? Are my family supporting me? Do I belong to this tribe? A mantra here or an affirmation that you can tell yourself if you recognize this as being unbalanced is, I am safe and supported. So this is the purpose, is it gives you your sense of security, safety, and belonging. So signs when this is out of balance: do you feel it is you versus the world? Are you an overachiever, or do you feel like you work, you try to compensate for something in your life by overworking? Are you in conflict with family, friends, and community? Do you feel fearful and the need to be on guard? Do you often feel like you're up in your head and not connected to the body? The body systems it represents are feet, legs, ankles, pelvis, coccyx, lower back, and adrenals. So then we move on to the sacral chakra. This is below the navel, above the pubic bone. It's orange in color and its element is water. It represents our ability to emotionally express and connect to others. And this can be likened to the inner child, where we can feel free enough to express ourselves through passion, purpose, and creativity. Here we exchange the energy of ourselves with the energy of others around us and society, as we start to form our own identity and self-expression. Whereas the root chakra is associated with our ability to feel grounded and secure in our physical bodies, the sacral chakra has been likened to the aspect of us that embodies the water element of expansive emotions and intuition. When we look at archetypes, the sacral chakra represents the moon, and this really is about reflection, intuition, deep emotions, waters run deep, etc. At this developmental stage of the sacral chakra, it's said that we have set the stage for who we are to become as adults. We start to recognize ourselves as individuals and separate from out there. We form opinions and beliefs, and imbalances that occur here can be around self-worth. The age that this relates to is 7 to 14, whereas the root chakra was 0 to 7 in ages. So this is 7 to 14. So this is where we're starting to form our adolescence and our rebellion stage. So when this chakra's out of balance, there can be issues with emotions, sexuality, and relationships. You may not feel very expressive, and you can feel uncomfortable expressing or honoring your emotions. There may be issues with relationships, intimacy, emotional instability, menstrual cycles, and these issues can manifest on a physical level. Addictions, weight issues can also be present here. So the sacral chakra is about relationships, sensuality, and the experience of pleasure and play, creativity, emotions, and how we manifest and tune into our intuition. The purpose of it is really to express ourselves through creativity, play, sexuality, pleasure, through our emotions, and this is about our inner child. If you recognize this as being out of balance, you can use the mantra or affirmation, I am worthy. And some signs when this is out of balance: you might be overly creative, lack focus, or cannot materialize ideas, so you can't bring them into manifest form. You could, find you go through lots of sexual encounters with a fear of commitment or looking for somebody to commit to you. And you might feel unable to express yourself emotionally. You might feel creatively stifled, social avoidance, hate of body, have addictions, issues of body shame. So this governs the sacrum, the lower abdomen, the bladder, and the water elements to our body. Okay, so then we move on to the solar plexus chakra. This is all about your transformation, your fire in your belly, and this is the middle of the torso. So this chakra represents the source of personal power and transformation. It's akin to the fire in your belly, driving you forward in life, fueling your confidence, purpose, and motivation. The three lower chakras form the physical basis. The root chakra could be compared to the foundations of a house, giving you solid structure. The sacral chakra is like the windows, allowing us to see the outside world, using our senses and the urge to connect with others. And the solar plexus is like the front and back door, enabling people to enter and the inhabitants to leave. If this chakra is out of balance, you may suffer from issues of low self-confidence and doubt in your ability to make decisions. You may lack the sense of purpose and direction and not be able to use your intuition or gut feeling as an intuitive guidance system. Because this chakra governs digestion, there can be digestive issues and even anger issues from power imbalances. This solar plexus chakra is about personal power, self-worth, motivation, drive, ego, and identity. If you recognize this as being out of balance within yourself, you can use the mantra or affirmation, I know my own worth. Some signs when this chakra is out of balance is you may feel like you lack in confidence and self-esteem. Are you fixated on competition or success? Do you overcompensate due to your lack of self-esteem? Are you reclusive and lack confidence in groups? Do you feel unable to change your situation? Do you feel powerless? And the body systems it governs are the liver, the pancreas, the gallbladder, and stomach. Okay, so then we move on to the heart chakra. This is about tapping into your unconditional love. This is the center of the chest, and it governs green. And the element here is air. The heart chakra represents the center of love and gratitude. It is unique as this is the center point of the 7 chakras with 3 above and 3 below. It bridges the physical and spiritual aspects of a person through love. The name of this chakra means that the spiritual aspect of you, which its Sanskrit name is anahata, cannot be hurt or emotionally damaged. When this chakra is open and flowing, only love, compassion, and gratitude can reside. You will be quick to forgive and you will be able to accept yourself and others easily without judgment or conditions. Imbalances in this chakra can present themselves with emotions such as jealousy, anger, grief, judgments, and criticism. You may harbor feelings of being unloved or unable to fully love because of fear and rejection. There may be a need to hurt others when hurt as a form of protection, retaliation, or defense. Relationships can prove to be difficult if this chakra is out of balance. So the heart chakra governs relationship with self and others, giving and receiving love equally. Unconditional love, empathy, compassion, non-judgment, and nurture. An affirmation or mantra you can use if you recognize this as being unbalanced within you is I am love. Some signs when out of balance, you may feel consumed by your emotions, unable to forgive yourself and others, and you may overly give to others but find it more difficult to receive that love back. The body systems it governs is the heart, the lungs, the shoulders, the breast, upper back, even the arms, hands, and shoulders. It's about giving and receiving love equally, and it has to start with giving that unconditional love and nurture to yourself. We often have an inner critic that tries to demoralize us. This can be akin to a parent or somebody significant in our life, and the messages that we received as a child, and we usually use those messages, or rather the way that we perceive them at the time, or how they made us feel at the time, as a stick to beat ourselves up with. Everything can be transmuted through the heart if we're able to break that wall down, that barrier down of protection, and we're able to see the bigger picture of life and see the bigger picture of your purpose here on earth. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and yeah, it's been my pleasure. Thank you so much.